welcome to Charts and Hearts. I'm Sarah, and she's Lindsay.
And together, we are working our way through an epic list of rom-coms in order to find and categorize tropes in the hopes of creating the nerdiest spreadsheet podcasts have ever seen.
Today, in our second episode, we are talking about High School Musical 2. Oh my gosh. Yeah. This movie was, I mean, I knew it was going to be an experience, but I had forgotten how, how bad it is, but also how fun.
Exactly. No, it's totally, it's all of that. It's like, it's a perfect movie. I actually watched it in bits and bytes while trying to get my newly purchased copy of 1995's Pride and Prejudice working.
Yeah.
And that was an interesting juxtaposition, I'll tell you. But it was a great way to watch this because I was like trying to text with my sister, trying to get my iTunes to work while Gabriella was singing her heart out. I'm like, yep, this is good.
Yep. I was like, oh, yeah. I think, no, I watched it all in one sitting, but I was knitting and did a bit of work and, you know, the plot is not the reason.
No, and there's a lot of songs.
There's a lot of songs that you're like, yep, this is a song. And there's a lot of plot that doesn't matter. But the fun parts are really fun. Yeah,
definitely. I really enjoy a lot of this movie.
Yes, it's better than the first one.
Oh, everything's better than the first one.
Well, yeah. So that's why we picked this one rather than the first one. Also because it ties in with our summer camp, summer vacation
camp resort theme song.
If you didn't listen to our first episode, 2 weeks ago, we did an episode about Dirty Dancing. So, you know, we're following it up with another, you know, modern classic. Yes, totally on the same level.
Totally the same page. Yep.
Yeah.
He's got floppy hair and he wears a lot of black, so.
Yeah, exactly.
So before we get started, I was thinking, because we've been having some Twitter discussions with our favorite friend, Matthew, and also just thinking about this movie, because we've been saying rom-coms, but, like, what is a rom-com? And, like, this I wouldn't actually define as a rom-com.
No.
But it falls under what we're talking about, and, like, chick flicks are kind of different, because that's also a lot of Austen and that kind of stuff, but we're also going to do Austen because of course we are. So.
Exactly. So how are we defining rom-com? Sort of like if we want to cover it in the podcast, we are calling it a rom-com. But basically like a lighter story where like a romance and or comedy is the center of the plot.
Yeah, I think so. Like, there's a lot of romance is the main plot, as opposed to a comedy with an accidental romance in it. Like, for some reason, I was thinking about this the other day. Van Wilder came to mind, and I don't know why, because there's millions of comedies where the guy also gets the girl, or vice versa.
Yeah, or like Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. Will we do that one? Time will tell. It just occurred to me. But like, yeah, I don't know. We're kind of taking a very fast and loose definition of rom-com.
Yeah, so. And as of right now, we have 137 movies on our list, and I keep thinking of new ones every day. Like Win a Date with Tad Hamilton. Exactly. And also, he's just not that into you.
Oh, yeah. Anyways, and also, I might as well throw this in here because we're talking about it. If you would like to suggest a movie, especially if you think it's a movie that us as like English-speaking straight white girls might not have heard of. We have a form on our website. If you go to chartsandhearts.com, you'll see a link there to suggest us some movies. But like I said, we have 140 on the list. So if we don't do a movie that you suggest, it's not personal. It's just like, we got a long list.
We got a long list. And I gotta say, one of the rows in this list just says all the John Hughes, so like it's longer than 140. We gotta spread that out. So don't worry, we'll get there.
We will get there. Okay. So High School Musical 2.
High School Musical 2 is a Disney Channel original from 19, 2007.
2007.
That happened fast. First
Yeah.
one was 2006.
Yeah. So it came out in 2007. It was obviously like direct on the Disney Channel. Yeah, it stars everybody's floppy-haired, now very muscly Zac Efron and Vanessa Hudgens, who I think went through some rough stuff. Now is like killing it doing actual theater and Broadway and stuff. So
Yeah.
And some other people who we will get to. This is the one where they all inexplicably get jobs at the same country club at the last minute, and hijinks ensue, and Sharpay and Ryan are there, and Troy like becomes fancy and then realizes like goes back to his roots, and but not before he does some angry dancing on the golf course.
Exactly. Yeah. Not to be confused with the future of his angry dancing, which will happen later when he's going through probably about the same issues in High School Musical 3.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
I couldn't tell you. So let's just start with like some vaguely not in any order observations about this movie, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so the Evans family is like just so over the top dysfunctional, and it's fine because they're kind of funny because they're like super loving and supportive.
Sort of. I don't know.
A weird way.
They're more supportive of Ryan than they are of Sharpay.
Yeah, but I feel like not just because Ryan deserves all the attention that he can get, but also I don't know if you can be supportive of Sharpay.
No, exactly. But it's like when you see her mom, you're like, oh, I understand a bit more of like why you are like you are. But like, they're supportive and you can tell they love their kids, but they also like have no idea how to be parents.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was that like the dad had no toxic masculinity. He never like Ryan, regardless of his incredible codedness. But like when he like straight out says he's doing yoga and obviously singing and dancing, and he's not on the basketball team or the golf team, or he wasn't baseball, but we'll get to that. But his dad never is like, why aren't you? I wish you were my son because you can play basketball. You know, none of that happens.
He takes an interest in Troy and Troy's interest in basketball, but not he's not like pushing Ryan to do that. He's also like supportive of Ryan, like singing and dancing and acting and whatever. So yeah, no, for sure, unexpected for an early 2000s Disney movie.
Yeah, very.
Speaking of the dad, so it was very strange. So we first meet him because he like arrives on the golf course in a helicopter, but then like a little bit later he's at like a college basketball practice watching his daughter's friend like practice basketball. Yeah, like how can you be so busy and yet that?
I think that's how he got there on for his vacation.
Okay, so he arrived so he arrived there direct to the golf course, but it wasn't like he flies in and flies out.
Yeah, this is the first I'm thinking about it, but that's how it's working in my brain.
Yeah, it is very unclear if the country club is a hotel or just like a day place, because I thought they were all living there, but then Troy at least we see at home.
And Gabrielle gets picked up when she's singing in the dark, and that's when I was thinking, I was like, is Sharpay and Ryan, are they sleeping there?
Well, they arrived with a lot of luggage.
Yeah, so they must be, but we never see anything like that. Like, she changes her outfits all the time, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, exactly. She changes her outfit like 5 times at school, so who knows? It's very strange. Very strange. Okay, well, let's talk about everybody's favorite number, I think. Ugh. I mean, we'll get into our favorite number later, but the I Don't Dance is...
I Don't Dance is...
I don't know if it's my favorite song, but it's my favorite number, I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's my favorite number because the choreography is really, really good.
Super fun.
Except like when they swing the baseball bats around, I'm very nervous for all of them.
I know. I'm like, I hope in real life, like when they were filming it, they were foam baseball bats.
I hope so. Or they were practicing with pool noodles or something.
Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
That would change how you swing it.
The weight would be off, but still, like, yeah. Or at least, like, sometimes they're foam and sometimes they're real. I don't know. Or they practice with helmets or...
Yeah, or really far away. Social distancing.
Yes, with with the baseball bats. Yeah, no, it's such a fun number. It's really good. It has, I mean, none of the songs have any relevance to the plot because there's no plot.
Exactly. Well, I think
So-
the big thing about this one, and like I don't remember enough about the other two movies, is that
Yeah.
like the leads aren't in it,
yeah, which is great.
which is a huge thing, right? And it just gives
Maybe
both
that's
of them
why I like it.
maybe like it gives both of them a chance to just sing, and like for no real reason. Like this plot, of course, could like all of the scenes in this movie could be lifted out, but it has nothing to do with the main plot at all, except that he missed the game, but he was missing everything, so it could have been whatever, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like the plot part of this number is that Troy's not there.
Yeah.
And then it
And that
is
Ryan
odd
is
that
making friends with them, but
it is odd that Gabriella's not there.
she's in the stands with
Oh, right.
girl.
Yes, right. Gotcha. Because I
Girl
don't know why
friend.
she couldn't play baseball. But anyways.
Yeah, well, it's a whole
Yes.
other thing.
And then this is the scene where like everybody kind of assumes that Ryan and Chad maybe hooked up or
Yeah.
should have hooked up.
Because they're wearing each other's clothes. at
I
the
know.
end.
It's like, was it on purpose by the producers and just like,
Yeah,
I don't know.
like it's such a strange choice. Like I remember seeing tweets about it and then watching the dance, and I was like, did they just change hats? Because that would make sense to me. Of like,
Yeah, like
hey,
you
we're
throw your
buddies,
hat and
let's
then you-
swap hats. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no,
No.
he's like wearing his muscle tank top. Which
Yeah,
I'm not gonna call
yeah,
another
so, like,
thing, but yeah.
Is it part of coding Ryan as gay and trying to just get something past the like Disney
Yeah.
like homophobia? Probably. Yeah, I don't know.
But
I
still,
don't
like,
know.
it's also like, even if it was blatantly out there as gay,
Yeah.
why would they go off and hook up in the middle of the baseball game?
Well, and also then
come back and
make it
still be
super
wearing
obvious.
each other's clothes.
Yeah, make it super obvious that they're wearing each other's clothes. Also, they're like 16, so
Yeah.
you know, speculating about them hooking up feels weird.
Exactly. Yeah.
Um,
And also, they're very different size builds.
Yeah,
So, like,
probably the same height, but otherwise,
Probably. But, well, I guess
yeah.
it was just a golf shirt and then an open jersey, so it's
Yeah.
not hard.
not too bad. Anyways, that's probably enough conversation about that because it's weird. On the subject of musical numbers, the one that was like, I looked up expecting there to be a whole orchestra, but no, when like, so Kelsey's teaching Troy and Gabriella the song that she wrote for them to sing, The Music in Me, or is that what it's called? And she's like playing the piano, and then I assumed it like, you know, transitioned magically to like being a full number with stuff. No, there's like, in the backing track that we hear is every instrument, but Kelsey's just there like playing the piano, but not really, because they never show her from the
Of course.
side where you can see the keys. So she's just like mock playing the piano, but there's no piano in the track that they're singing to. I'm like, you could have at least like had piano and other instruments,
Yeah.
but it was like guitar and drums and like maybe some keys and
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that goes along with everything about Kelsey and how she just creates music in like 5 minutes constantly and can play and like accompany people with no problems whatsoever and all of that stuff.
which like professional accompanists can do, but she is 16.
16-year-old. Yep.
So
Yeah.
and also like, I don't know, it takes people more than like looking at the music to learn a number. Like,
Yeah.
to be able to perform it. Like, you can
Mhm.
learn a number to be able to like sing it in rehearsal by just glancing
Mhm.
at the music, but yeah.
Just
Oh, the
remember this-
magic
A
of
scene
musicals.
from the third one when she's working like early morning at the school and Ryan comes in and like pours himself a cup of tea from her teapot that's on the piano, and it's very like homey because they try and couple them up in the third
Yeah.
one. And it, like, and that scene is very like, oh yeah, I
don't-
can get behind this, except it's still weird.
I don't know
but-
if I've ever seen the third one. I don't know.
It's
I don't think I'm
It's-
missing anything.
no, you're not. You're just missing the High School Musical song.
Right.
This is my high school.
Oh no, I have seen it, or I've
Yeah.
yeah. Anyways, okay, back
During
to the
our
country club.
Embarrassing Zephron phase.
I
yes.
didn't have an embarrassing Zephron phase because I'm too old.
No, but you were around people who were.
I was
having
around.
embarrassing
Yes,
Zephron faces.
this is true. This is true.
I just would like to give a shout out to Starkid for teaching me how to call him Zephron.
Indeed. Oh yes, I had like a secondhand Zephron phase.
Yeah.
Okay, so this country club, it looks like they're in the Flintstones movie, right?
Yeah, it's Albuquerque is
Well,
where it all
that's where
takes place.
Yeah, but then I looked at the filming locations on IMDb, and they were both filmed in Utah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
But like the fake reddish rocks of the country
know,
club
like,
were like
at the end, like in the background of when he's dancing on the golf course, I was like, is that Uluru? Like, what's happening?
No, I think so. Those rocks were real. I was talking about like the rocks around the country club and like the building of the country club are like look like fake Flintstones set.
Oh yeah.
So that was fun for me because I love the Flintstones movie. Lindsay and I had we had the same summer job for a long time. That's how we met. A million, like 20 years ago.
Exactly 20 years ago.
Yeah, yes. 20 years ago, like now.
Yep.
Crazy.
Yep. I know.
Crazy. Yeah, because it was like my summer job during university, and then I went away, and while I was away, Lindsay started at like the spring break while I was away, and then I got back in time for the summer, and then we became friends.
It's like almost 20 years when this episode's coming out.
Yeah.
It was after my grad.
Yeah, it was July. Yeah. So crazy. Oh, man. Okay. So, like, at every summer job I've had, like, there's been some amount of training. Like, not a lot, especially at that job. But, like, but also we weren't doing anything super important, like teaching kids how to play golf or being a lifeguard. Yeah,
no kidding. I did go through all my lifeguard training and then decided to not be a lifeguard. That was many, many years of training. And I didn't even have the job yet.
Yeah.
Like I would have been hired and then had more training on the job. But
yeah. And like, okay, so maybe it was like, oh, she was already doing lifeguard training. But no, she says like, oh, I should take a first aid course. That might help me get a job. And like, if she had been doing lifeguard training for years, she would have had first aid certification because you have to. So yeah, somehow they trained her to be a lifeguard in a day and a half. But also,
and it's the most chaotic pool ever.
Oh yeah,
I don't want to be a lifeguard there.
No, and like you would definitely because there's no sight lines to every part of the pool, so there need to be more than one lifeguard.
More than one, yeah.
Yeah, but she's the only lifeguard in the whole place that we see. And like the guys who are being waiters, like they aren't even like told like what's on the menu. Like they just arrive at work and
then they're like, go
or let loose with fancy country club people.
They don't ask any of the people if they know how to cook things.
No,
they're like, you're gonna be a sous chef, and like, do you know how to be a sous chef?
And like, I get that watching them be like training is boring, but that's what montages are for.
Exactly. That's the thing about this coming off of Dirty Dancing.
Yes.
There are zero montages in this movie.
It is a tragedy.
That is weird to think about. And then I was trying to think about if musicals just don't have montages in them, which isn't true. So it's just this. And then I got distracted thinking about montages in musicals.
I think because it was a made-for-TV movie.
I think so.
They just like didn't want to have because as a montage you like are making up a bunch of sets and action and stuff.
Yeah,
that like doesn't get paid off later. But you know, also this movie is not cohesively written.
Well, obviously it was written probably in like 3 weeks if it came out a year after the first one.
Do we want to vote on the worst song? Because I think we know the worst song.
Is it the one that she sings?
It's the Flying Fish song.
It's real bad.
It's so bad. Like it definitely has vibes from the song that the sister sings in Dirty Dancing. Like the hula.
It's very
yeah.
It's very
that was
similar,
the first thing I thought of that. But it's like somehow manages to be worse and more racist.
Yeah.
And I think the worst was not intentional. Like it was meant to be super cheesy and over the top. But I don't think they intended it or realized how racist it was.
No, I don't think so.
Like it was
again,
the early 2000s.
Early 2000s. It's an interesting thing watching this. looking at the people of color, and like it decent, but also very one-sided in like it's a lot of Black people.
Yeah, there's like 2 Black characters that have speaking lines that I know about.
Yeah, and then a lot of background people. But that's it's just one of those like, look, we have people of color, and like,
yeah,
but there's other ones.
Also, like, you're in New Mexico, you could have some Latin characters. Yeah, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, the fish song it's just bad, and it's ridiculous and so weird.
It is so weird. Yeah, I like it. I think juxtaposed to that, plus just in general, the remix of your the music in me is actually not bad. It's kind of funny, and I like it as an upbeat song, even though Sharpay's insane.
Yeah, like it feels forced, but it's it's weird. Like, it's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Whereas if they'd just done like an over the top like standard musical number, it would have been just as fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what's your favorite one in the
It's hard to pick.
I know, right?
But I think it has to be Bet on Me.
Bet on it.
Bet on it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I know, because it's just iconic.
I know.
Yeah.
It is. And
yeah.
The Yoga with Adrienne, whenever she tells you to lean over to look at your reflection in the pond, she always talks about Zoolander. I always think about this. Always. Every time.
It's a Yoga with Adrienne reference, if you're wondering.
Yeah. And like this, when I used to watch it, I just called it a Lion King reference.
It's very Lion King.
Like, now it's just like Yoga with Adrienne and Zephron are combined together forever in my heart.
Oh, yay. Yeah, I don't know. I do really like I Don't Dance, but I also like, ironically but also not ironically, kind of like Gotta Go My Own Way. Because it's very iconic. But I'd probably go with I Don't Dance.
That's fair.
Yeah, because it's a really good number. I don't know if the song is as good, but
yeah, it's a good number.
It's the whole thing is a really good experience. And also, like, Troy and Gabriella are like not my favorites, so yeah. So should we talk tropes?
Yeah. So we touched on this one already, and it's the same serious, less fun one from Dirty Dancing as the BIPOC couples as together as couples. There is the other guy, Zeke, the chef.
Oh, yeah.
He's there and dances with Sharpay, I think. But yeah, so Chad and Taylor, and this is left over from the first movie. Like, they are the best friends who get together because they're the best friends of the leads.
Right. Yeah. But even like in the background, like, there's not really any interracial characters or whatever, or interracial couples. And then same as in Dirty Dancing, which didn't realize it was a trope until we came across it the second time.
I know.
Is like all the staff, like in this case it was like the grown-up staff basically, standing all at the back of the stage, and the kids too. Like,
yeah, they were all back there, and then
the staff all
came up to the stage.
Yeah, the staff all come from the wings to watch the big finale.
It was surprising when I saw it. I was like, "This is exactly
just
the
like
same
Dirty
thing."
Dancing. I mean, there's a reason we are sort of pairing these together in the same month, because
big
they
musical
are
number at the end of this season,
inspired by each other for sure. Or inspired. One inspired the other.
One is inspired. Yeah.
There's no time travel. Don't worry. I mean, this movie, takes from all kinds of places, but Dirty Dancing is definitely one of them.
Misunderstandings between friends and also people. I put lovers here, but they're not lovers. But
no, they're
people
16
that are together.
Yeah, for friends and couples.
Of just stop and talk to each other.
Yeah, or like not even talk, just like stop and listen to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like the redemption of an evil character, or like because Ryan takes the side of our heroes. Which is good because he's like a good character.
It was the side, like, Sharpay is Sharpay, and it's just always too much, and that's the point. But the part where she's in the rehearsal studio and she asks for a beat
Yeah.
to walk out of, and I was like, yeah, I can get behind that part.
Yeah. No,
Like,
like
that was pretty fun.
she's obnoxious, but that's the point. So, yeah.
Angry dancing.
Angry dancing. Yep.
It's just so good.
So good.
Angry dancing.
It's very reminiscent of Footloose,
Yes.
which is
and
not an
also-
accident.
No, it's not an accident at all. And then from that, and probably this, I have to look at dates. There's a Flight of the Conchords. Brett does some angry dancing, and it's amazing.
Oh yeah, I would assume that the Flight of the Conchords is after this, because
Yeah, so it's probably
Footloose does it well. This does it over the top.
Yep. And then
Flight of the
and
Conchords.
then Brit does it amazingly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, and then I think this is also a good example of the side characters being more interesting and nuanced and like make me care about them more than the main couple.
Mm-hmm.
Which happens sometimes in sort of like rom-com movies.
The first thing that came to mind that people might get mad at me at, but you're gonna get mad at me the entire time we cover this movie, is Carrie Fisher and what's his name in When Harry Met Sally.
Yeah,
but I don't like that movie very much. So.
No, exactly. Yeah, no, but they're more interesting.
But they're more interesting.
Yeah,
and they have a fun arc because it's happening. Their relationship happening behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the first one I thought of, but I don't know. Like I'd have to think. I can't think of a.
I'm sure we'll find more examples.
Because like it's hard because rom-coms, the main characters are supposed to be interesting, so it's hard to think even with great side characters. I'm like, like Four Weddings, like, but I also am interested.
Yeah,
And
no,
Miss
so
Hugh
yeah,
Grant, Anna McDowell, but
yeah, that's true. That's true. Or like Burlesque, where you care more about Stanley Tucci than anybody.
Well, yeah. Well, I care more about Stanley Tucci than anybody in all movies.
It's true.
So.
It's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm sure we'll find more examples as we go on. This is only episode 2.
I know.
It's going to be a process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, new segment. Dun, dun, dun,
Maybe.
For episode 2. Maybe. We'll see
We're
how
trying
this
it out.
goes. Is Bechdel test. Or our variation on that. Even Miss Bechdel should know what her name is. She's very famous. Admits freely that it's not a perfect test of a movie and feminism. But it's an
Allison.
interesting conversation. Okay.
Yeah.
Allison Bechdel. So this one passes, but I think the next step of that conversation is what kind of grade would you give it as
and
females being together or female agency?
Yeah.
And-
So like they do talk about like work and their performances and all that kind of
And
stuff.
the talent show.
And the
Think
talent
about
show.
Sharpay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Sharpay doesn't have a love interest and she doesn't really care. Like Sharpay definitely in terms of like, fighting the patriarchy and like standing up for herself, A+. But then you also have Gabriella who just like is along for the ride in her life.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, I just want to have a nice summer, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah.
Except
and like
abandon all of my friends and quit my well-paying job because my boyfriend is making me sad.
but also she didn't want that job in the first place. The only reason she got that job was to be with her boyfriend,
because-
and then he was an asshole because he's an asshole. Yeah. So like in this case, yeah, sure. Does it make it a good movie? No.
No.
And like movies that don't pass the Bechdel test doesn't make them bad. It's just like
Exactly.
were they
Yeah.
trying
So I think it's just an
to
interesting discussion on
Yeah.
the agency of women
yeah.
or the agency of non-male characters in a
And
movie.
yeah, exactly. And also especially like this is written by a man,
Mm-hmm.
like targeting a teenage girl audience or like young teen
Yes,
audience
definitely.
for sure. Young teen female audience, by the way,
Mhm.
is what they were targeting.
Yeah.
Or what they ended up with. I don't know.
Well, for this one, I would say targeting because
Yes,
it's the second one.
The second one. Yeah, the first one I think they were just like throwing it at the wall to see what happened.
Yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, but it's interesting. Like it'll be interesting to like at least bring up the Bechdel test in some cases, like when they're trying to like write a movie that's trying to say that such and such female character is like so awesome and kick ass. Like, but like, does she have female friends and does she talk about
Yeah.
anything other than her love life? That'll be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, and also like I'm thinking of How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. They brought this up on the I Hate It But I Love It episode about that one. Like, she talks about work with her friends, but she talks about wanting to write articles about war and third world country issues for this fashion magazine and doesn't understand why she can't. So, like, she's not talking about men, but she's also not great at agency. Like,
or
she
like
wants to
common
write
sense.
important things, but she's not, like, doing it in a way that makes sense.
Yeah. Well,
So,
maybe she's just bad at her job. But then also, like, Teen Vogue has some of the best, like,
oh, I know, but
in-depth
like,
reporting. Yeah, now, not 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any hot takes about this movie?
I do. When I first saw this, not in or late aughts, probably, I would not have thought that Vanessa Hudgens would have been my win.
Yeah.
Now, 2022, but she's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And you haven't even seen Tick Tick Boom yet, have you?
No, I did see it.
Oh, you did watch it
in Calgary.
Okay.
We talked about this.
Right, I forgot. But yes, she's so good in Tick Tick Boom. She's been good in so many things. I would love to see her, like, actually on stage. I think she's, like, finally figured out how to be herself.
Yeah, I
despite all
was
the
talking to
crap.
my sister about it, and I think she graduated from the school of Emma Watson eyebrow acting.
Yes.
And got a real acting coach, and I think that definitely helped. And also stopped being in movies where all she has to do is giggle.
Yeah, and also
stare at Troy.
And stopped being in movies that were written by old men to try to market merchandise to 12-year-olds. Yeah. Mine is that I would like more Kelsey, please. And I know she has a bigger role in the third one, now that I'm remembering. But still, she's great. She's interesting. She's poorly developed, but it's like, oh, like, you're actually the most, like, into being in musicals other than Sharpay in this show. Like, why are we continuing to force Troy into being in musicals? Like, yeah. Anyways, that is me. Okay. So what do you think is next for these wacky kids?
Well, High School Musical 3 is what's next. And they graduate and Troy does something. I think he goes...
Does he get a basketball scholarship?
No, he gets offered a scholarship for Juilliard.
Right, of course he does.
And got offered a bunch of scholarships for basketball. Yeah. And then chooses one in the middle that has basketball and music.
Oh,
and then is close to Stanford, where Gabriella's going.
Gotcha. Of course, because there's a magical school.
Not Stanford.
Right.
And maybe Berkeley. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But they're not at the same university.
Right. Which is good. Because I don't think that they should stay together.
I don't think they should stay together either. But they're not going to stay together.
Yeah.
People at two different universities, like, that's rough. And they already have had so much drama in their lives.
Oh my gosh. So much. Yeah. And I just hope that they end up in stories that are better written than these movies. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ryan gets one of the scholarships to Juilliard. And so that is nice.
That's good.
Ryan and Kelsey. I would like Ryan and Kelsey to go to Juilliard. I think they would really thrive there.
Yeah, I think so. Or like even like somewhere that's less fancy than Juilliard, but like has good trading for like getting jobs.
Yeah, like one of those arts schools.
Yeah, like or like Tisch, like the NYU school, or somewhere, or Michigan that has like a musical theater program. Yeah, as we know from our Star Kid friends. Yeah, so but yes, just like getting out of their weird New Mexico high school of weirdness.
Life erupts in choreography constantly.
Yep. All right, time for some charts.
Pie. Like, fashioning.
Okay. We didn't come up with percentages ahead of time.
Oh, no, we didn't.
But
we didn't do numbers,
I think we can, we'll do it live on the pod. Okay.
So, awkward choreography has got to be high.
Oh, yeah. Like
55%.
Okay, yeah.
60.
Let's do 55. Okay. 55% awkward choreography.
Oh my god, there's so much awkward choreography.
And then I think interrupted kisses with a couple that you don't care about is like 30?
Yep.
I think there are 30 of them, and we'll call it 30% of the movie.
Okay, so what's that? 85?
Yeah.
Sassy hats
is like
also really high.
Yeah, maybe 5?
Maybe, yeah. I think the rest of these can all be 5.
Yeah, these are all 5. Okay, so then
sense,
we have Sassy Hats, which is Kelsey and Ryan. There's so many good hats.
Yeah, which is why they would work at Tish together. They could just have hats.
Yeah, and they can just share hats.
Hats on hats. Yeah.
Not saying that they need to be a couple. I don't really care. I don't know
No,
what their sexuality is.
No, I think they should. I think they should be best friends who trade hats.
Yeah.
Great.
And then harmonizing. I mean, you would think in a musical there would be more, but 5 is enough because it.
Yeah, like it's with the song that she sings when she's breaking up with him.
Yes.
Go My Own Way. Is that one? That one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the breakup song.
Her parts are so good, and then he just like starts singing, and it's just like not
the middle of a sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
No, it's very like, there's like the meme of like the person with like their like one hand on their ear, like on their headphone, and like one hand up, and they're like with their eyes closed to their head up, like trying to harmonize to something. That's Zac Efron. Speaking of Zac Efron, the final 5% is memes of Zac Efron twirling.
Oh yeah.
So many.
Twirling around on that golf course.
Yeah. And like falling on his knees, and yeah, just basically Zac Efron dancing memes. Solid 5%. It's like one of the top 5 things about this movie. Yeah. So I think that that brings us to the end of our episode. You can rate and give us a review wherever you get your podcasts, and please do, since we're kind of new and like changed our name and all of that. So you can find us on social media. We're at Charts and Hearts Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and we're at Charts and Hearts on Twitter. Or you can check out our website, chartandhearts.com, where you can submit your suggestions for rom-coms or for crazy tropes to add to our list.
If you are in the mood for a little Nature Finds a Way nostalgia, you can check out our Nature Finds a Way episode on our brand new Patreon, Charts and Hearts Club. You can search Patreon/Charts and Hearts Club, where we have a new bonus episode out talking about Jurassic World 3, more worlds, more
feathered dinosaurs, more Laura Dern.
Yeah. Maybe in the episode title, in the episode recording, which we haven't done yet, we will have the name of the movie in it. Maybe.
We might get there.
Maybe not.
We'll see. We will be back, though, on this feed in 2 weeks. It's full on summer by then, and so for July, we're going to do wedding season, and we're going to start off with The Wedding Planner.
We weren't actually speaking of him, but speaking of Matthew McConaughey.
Indeed. Yeah. I mean, he's been in my heart the last couple days.
Yes. I mean, too. But it was How to Lose a Guy. That's why he was in the front of my brain.
Yeah, no, he was on the news. Was why he was in my heart.
Yeah, no, he's been on the news.
But yes. And in the meantime, help us come up with an outro, please.
Outro, yes. And thank you for listening to us ramble about this crazy movie.
Bye.
Bye.